Everybody, this is DJ the Money Coach. I want to invite you to our masterclass and teach you the pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind, so you can come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. What is that masterclass going to do for you? It's going to help you create your Black history success story. I'm going to teach you how to create consumer debt freedom, earn an 800 credit score. I'm going to teach you how to pay off your home in 5 to 7 years. I'm going to teach you how to create passive income of $8,333 a month by acquiring businesses, acquiring real estate, and leveraging the tax laws. I'm also going to throw in our family finance one-on-one course, 3 hours, 18 modules. I'm going to give you our best-selling book, ABCs of Wealth, the Common Sense Strategy of Achieving American Dream. And as a special bonus, I'm going to give you 3 consultations live with DJ the Money Coach, Melvin Hobson, our registered investment advisor of 18 years, and James Lane Jr., our CPA over 7 years. And all you have to do is say, get me free to create Black history with DJ Money. That's right. Get me free, create Black history with DJ Money. Hit the link and you get over $3,000 worth of value for less than $200 to celebrate Black history, and come join me on the Beaches of the World Club with DJ Money in the master class.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Hello to the people out there, and welcome to another episode of Nick's Knowledge and Notions in Cube Science Series, brought to you by the 7 Spheres of Money. Thank you for being here. And before we get started, as always, like the video, share it with at least 3 people, and subscribe so we can reach 1,000 subscribers and spread this message, this gospel out to everyone about the pom-pom lifestyle, plenty of money, peace of mind, and this real talk that we bring to you on a consistent basis. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're bringing you part 2, of our Black History Month special edition. Building off of the father of Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson, and his work, his seminal work, The Miseducation of the Negro. And the question that we're asking in 2022 is, are Black people still miseducated in 2022? So we're going to continue on with that conversation tonight in true Black History Month fashion. So before we get into that, let me check out how my man DJ is doing on this Friday night. What's going on, DJ?
We're doing great, brother. I am my ancestors.
Yes. Yep, that's right.
We're doing great, man. Black history is off to a great start. We got warm weather now. I'm so happy. As you can see, I'm in my short sleeves now. Not have to bundle up anymore, so that's always a great thing.
Hey, that's nice too. It's unseasonably warm up north this weekend too. We enjoy for a couple of days, but it's gonna go back to being cold next week. But I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, enjoy this unseasonably warm mid 50, high 50, low 60 degree weather today. Tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's warm up there.
Yeah.
That's like 75.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, but like I said, it's only gonna last for a couple days, so I'm gonna take advantage of while it's here. But yeah, a lot of great things going on, a lot of great things coming too. So let's get into this, man. So last week we kind of laid the foundation of what Carter G. Woodson was discussing in The Miseducation of the Negro. And, we brought up some of his criticisms of highly educated Negroes, of Black people, and how even though they have college degrees, bachelor's, master's, PhDs, they're still miseducated. They still have that inferiority complex. And not just culturally, but in business also. Carter G. Woodson talks about business in this book, and that's what we're going to continue with tonight. And the message the message for tonight is we need to work together. So Woodson's critique in 1933, that's when the book was published. In 1933, he was arguing that the miseducation has taken Black people away from business and entrepreneurship. And these business schools or these colleges have miseducated Black people to believe that they can't do well in business, that they shouldn't go into business. Now, the difference in 2022, entrepreneurship has become the trend. You know, it's the sexy thing to do. You know, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. But what hasn't changed is for one, the full-on support of these businesses, and also the properly running these businesses. And this is what Woodson critiqued back in 1933, and that message is still relevant today when it comes to supporting and working with one another, and also on the business side, running a business professionally and having systems in place so the business can survive and thrive for the long term. You know, so that's what we're going to discuss tonight.
Yeah, you know, that is absolutely apropos for the situation and the times, because since we did the last show, I mean, we've had our experiences with that exact same dilemma. I would say it is imperative that we work together. I mean, it because we're becoming extinct. I mean, let's just keep it real. I mean, we just did I don't want to call it an emergency show with Ericka, but we did a show with Ericka yesterday that probably be posting tomorrow or something like that. And it was talking about a piece that CNBC did called, you know, the shrinking of the middle class. And they were showing one of the people that were middle class that was a Black professional. And it was just, man, a bunch of propaganda of just wrong-mindedness. That's what I call it, wrong-mindedness. And then on top of that, it never ceased to amaze me that the experience we had B2B just this week, you know, just gonna keep it a buck. You know, you're dealing with people who are working for the PWI, the predominantly white institutions, right? And as you and I both know, you may see the higher you go up, you see less and less of us. Let's just keep it real. Right. So let's talk about from the managerial level up to the executive level to the C-suite. So at the managerial level, if you're working for a Fortune 500 company, you may see, I don't know, 3% representation of us. You may get lucky and get in a company and maybe see 10%, but that's highly unusual, okay? And then when you get up to, you know, the executive level, then it's probably like 1% of us. And then at the C-suite level, it's less than 1%, right? Across the board, if you look across the landscape. And then most importantly, from a, you know, the way God engineered it to be, in that representation, there's more women than there are men. So what does that do? That causes a divide automatically because the roles are disjointed. And when I mean disjointed, I'm fully 100% supportive of Black women rising up and being CEOs of corporations, but I'm also fully supportive of Black men rising up to be CEOs of major corporations. And the disjointedness comes where if I'm the CEO in this Fortune 500 company that's a PWI, and I go home and I think I am the complete CEO of the family unit, I just hate to be the bearer of bad news. That's not the way God engineered it. And you can argue with me all you want to. It's a mistruth. But, you know, let's just keep it a buck. It's a lie. And what do I mean by that? I mean that when you're working with these professionals and they have never worked for themselves, but they've risen up to this role of director, VP, CIO, CFO, CEO of a Fortune 500 company or a Fortune 1000 company, they never had to take any risks. You know what I'm saying? They've always had security in a paycheck, and a pretty good paycheck, mind you. Mm-hmm. So when they meet an entrepreneur that is constantly taking risk without security, they really don't have a natural regard and a deference or an appreciation of what that entrepreneur had to go through. Okay. And so, like what Carter G. Woodson said, is that when they are taught about entrepreneurship, they're not taught to invest in Negro businesses. They taught to follow the PWI business. So when you get to today in 2022, and you're coming up with this specialty category that they created, diversification. Okay, let's just keep it real. All that is they finding some special black person and saying, we're just gonna give you a little bit of bite of the pie. And when I mean little bit, I mean little bit. So they basically, it's a great protectionism, so you don't have to compete against them at every level of the game. So what I mean, if I have a diversity program, I've only allocated out of that 100% of that pie, maybe about 2% that you can go after just for you, just to keep you quiet. And now I got you stopped. You ain't thinking about getting the other 97% of the pie because, man, I'm happy to get this. And that little percentage, let's just say it's $100 million, right? So your company all of a sudden, making 3 million, and you ain't never made, 1 million before. You ain't never made $500,000. You're happy as a lark. So you ain't even looking at that other $97 million worth of opportunity because you happy you got this specialized diversity, contract. And so when we went through the pandemic and you had this PWI guilt, what did you all of a sudden see? You start seeing these major corporations going out, giving money to people just for the sake that they were black. And better yet, they started to water it down. They were POC. And then, they watered down. Then they became BIPOC, just making up freaking names, Then what you've come to find out, every one of the time they watered down the name of the program, you saw less and less black people, black Americans. You saw Nigerians. You saw, Caribbean people from the Bahamas, the UK, but you saw less and less pure black Americans. That's what I'm calling black Americans. Okay. And now you have stopped. And now I've risen up. So I'm now taking that diversity program. And let's say a diversity program grew to $100 million now. Now you're like, wow, man, I'm running 100 million. But the rest of the opportunity represents 100 billion. Are you really winning? No. But you personally, in your family, you're winning because your kids are going to the best private schools. You're living in the best communities. You're making the best vacations. So you have won. You've won the race. You won the American dream race. And as long as you, Westbrooks, not Duransburg, is winning, you have accomplished, because now your generation is set up. But here's the false part about it. If you are the head of these programs, and again, you lose your certification, or you just running the company, you can't, leave that company to your heirs because you are the head of a PWI. They just gave you a diversity contract. That's real talk. So now that entrepreneur who had to go the hard route, the natural route of building a business, just like a farmer in the agrarian days, he has learned how to have the mettle, METTLE. I think that's how you spell it. If I'm wrong, let me know, Nick. That toughness, that intestinal fortitude. So he builds that experience, and he's able to know how to be resourceful, industrious, to not only keep one portion of his business, but now he's able to scale up with the right systems and hire same people to look like you and put you in positions where now instead of getting 3% of the pie, you can go after the whole other 97% of the pie and not have to answer to anybody. And then that becomes the dilemma, because now you on the diversity side, or even the person that's running a PWI, you think that person over here has somebody they got to answer to, which they don't. They answer to themselves, and they coming at the deal from a whole different perspective and a different lens they're looking through. Because I don't have to go and ask anybody for permission to do anything in my business. And even my business is only 100 grand, I run 100% of it. But you over here in the diversity, or if you're an officer for PWI Fortune 500, you still got to report to somebody. That's number one. You got to report to somebody. Number two, you got to worry about moral clauses. So if you happen to be out on IG, Facebook, Snapchat, and actually in your own personal social life and just say something stupid. I'm gonna give you a great example. And y'all probably think I'm all over the place, but check this out. There's a guy that is a football player, and I think he was on IG, and somebody asked him, "Hey man, if you had 3 people you can go to dinner with in your lifetime, past or present, who are 3 people you would go to dinner with?" And he said something like Obama, somebody else, and then he said Hitler. And immediately he got pushed back like a mofo. But here's the thing. You don't have a problem talking about, Gotti, the mafia, and all of that. And what the guy's point was is that Hitler was a genius strategist. But they heard Hitler, and guess what? Everybody and their mama from what side of town coming at him? From the Jewish side, the LBGT, and everybody else. But the reality is, they took out of context what the guy said, because he said he is a strategical genius, which is true. He was able to conquer half of the world during his era.
Yep.
True or false?
He did it. That's what he did.
Facts. Then let's look at the other side of the spectrum. Whoopi Goldberg, she talks about that. She said, "Hey, I don't believe that, Jews are a race." Now, you and I both know factually it's not.
Right.
Now, we might get cut off right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But guess what? You're not going to change my income because I'm telling you facts. So what do I mean by that? So now that person over there that's in the diversity program or running a PWI program, when they know facts are facts, they can't say certain things without losing what they gave up to go up. So now they come right to me, entrepreneur, who have grind, got my stuff, earned it, legally, ethically, morally sound, have no hatred towards nobody. But you ask me a straight factual question, biology, okay? What differentiates a man from a woman? It's clear. The science says a sexual organ, right? Mm-hmm. You are born with a sexual organ, and only a man, if I'm not mistaken, can get prostate cancer, if I'm not mistaken. So if I change my gender, which I would never do, and I become a she, I can still get prostate cancer, but you telling me you're a man, you're a woman. And I'm going to tell you, I don't abide by that. So now I tell you that, you're now going to try to eliminate me for saying factual truth. So that person over here protecting the PWI, they have to constantly live a lie. When you know for a fact that if I go up at the top of my house, 4 stories, and I jump off, there's a thing called gravity, right? Mm-hmm. But you now want me to address you that was a man as a woman when you're not. I don't care what operation you got and everything, but your internal organs and stuff biologically don't change from the certain types of cancer that only men can get and only women get. Now, conversely, let's say you were a woman and you got, whatever they call the surgery, and you became a man and started taking testosterone, right? And I know y'all saying, what does this got to do with blacks working together? But this is my point. That person, as a man now, they can still get what? Breast cancer. And I hear you. Yep, rare cases, men can get breast cancer, but predominantly, who gets breast cancer? Women do. So now you're telling me to start living a lie. Now, just bring it way back, full circle. Full circle is this. We can't work together because if we don't honor and respect the building of businesses, the way they are universally built, systems and organizations, and we are subconsciously taught that we are inferior, which we're not, we automatically, when we see somebody that has achieved what you never took the risk to achieve, you have a hate and a natural envy in you because you're saying, man, I went to Harvard, I got an MBA, I got a PhD, and I'm over here at the top of this company, and this person didn't have to go that route, and they achieved what I've achieved, but they actually own everything. And they can pass it on to their kid, and my kid can be dumb as a bag of rocks, Nick, but I can put my kid in the CEO position, and he could be making $1 million a year and don't even matter. But you over here running the PWI, or you got the diversity contract, and you step out of line, your stuff goes away, baby. So if they tell you, Whoopi Goldberg, you're now suspended, but you just happen to just tell Monique about 6 to 12 months before, hey, girl, if you would have called me up, I'd have told you how to play the game. Monique's like, hey, I ain't selling out. And I ain't a big fan of Monique, but she was right. But now, flip the script. Whoopi, ironically, she got a quote-unquote Jewish surname, and she thought she was untouchable, and she didn't say nothing that was untrue. She didn't say anything that was egregious or racially stimulated against Jewish people, but they automatically said, you know what? We're going to put you in your place. So while she was doing all that protecting and giving, the other entrepreneurs the Heisman, she thought she was untouchable, and she just stepped out of line slightly, and they said, we're going to put you on suspension, and we probably going to let you go. So now, in that regard, I will never, because I automatically, and then they just had an incident with this clown, Jim Jones.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, first and foremost, one, why you up in the store, okay? To prove your inferiority that you can spend money with somebody that hates you. That literally said, probably 6 to 12 months ago, that we don't want y'all money. 2 years ago, they got a black monkey. It's supposed to be depiction, of us, which we're not, because I don't associate with monkeys anyway. You know what I'm saying? But this clown, he's up in the store talking about he can't get no respect, and they roll out the black manager, and he's being racist against his own people because there's no way this manager could have any authority up in here. I need to see a white boy because I'm dropping 29 grand up in this joint.
Right.
So, I mean, if that don't epitomize what Carter G. Woodson talks about, I don't know what does. And I know I took a long walk around, the mountain to get the story, but hopefully they caught that, because here's the deal. Until we understand, until we actually know 100% and believe that God's no respecter of person, we're going to always be that way, and there's always going to be conflict because it's an internal envy. That corporate person that's running this over here that said, hey, I went the route, I spoke and I had 2 languages. You know how I roll. I go to corporate America and I got, the language that I speak over here. And then I go into my other language when I'm around my people. But you didn't have to do that. And they wondered what gave you the special pass that you could be 100% yourself, because they're never truly themselves. In essence, they can never let their guard down because they're still protecting a image and they're protecting a legacy that really is not secure. And I'll take it another way. You look at my man Robert Smith, wealthiest person in America that's black. He went up and said something against Obama. What did they do? They went after him in an audit. Dr. Benz, Carson? What's his name? Ben Carter. What's the physician name that was in the Trump administration? Used to be one of my heroes.
Oh yeah.
Ben Carson, is that his name?
Yeah, Ben Carson. Yeah, Ben Carson. Yeah.
So when Ben Carson was also challenging Obama, all of a sudden he got audited. Now, would you ever see the PWI person do that to another person? No. But they naturally, by default, they go into that protectionism mode and say, hey, man, we got to stop this person because this person may be telling the absolute truth. And if everybody start buying into that truth, it could change the world that we live in and turn it upside down. And that's the reason why they took out Martin Luther King. That's the reason why they took out Malcolm X. Because at the end of the day, you think down in your deep subconsciousness that Black people don't have the ability to run businesses, so I'm not even going to support the business. But you in a New York Minute, you'll be in a Gucci store dropping $29K with somebody that told you, we don't like you, we don't need you, and you sitting up there going in there, and to prove that you are worthy, you giving them your money. That's the sad part. And so when we come to negotiate with those people, they automatically come with us and they looking down their nose because I already know, guess what? You're not better than me. And the reality is you are envious of me because I stand on my own 2 feet like a real man. And guess what? If I don't make another dollar, I'm good with that because I lived standing up, not on my knees. And that's when you start having them tell, hey, man, you shouldn't act like this. You shouldn't act like that because you ain't got nothing. So it's hard for you to take my land from me. It's hard for you to take my business from me if I have my clients and I'm working with my people. And again, I'd rather make $100,000 working for myself with my people than $1 million to be a half-rate me.
It is. Yep.
Real talk.
Yep.
And that right there is the secret weapon of the PDI institution, because as long as they can get you and me fighting with each other over their crumbs,
yep,
they ain't never got to worry about nothing because they done already won up here. But as soon as we turn that switch on, just like the rest of everybody else that, immigrate over here and they go create their own little communities, you can't get in between them because they there as a collective. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. They all working together.
They working together, and you never gonna see them calling each other derogatory names like we do, and talking about, oh man, it's a term of indifference. No, it's not. No, it's not, bro. Give me a break. It's not. It's not. It's just like when you have a child. If you want that child to excel, what do? You tell that child, hey, you're great, you're hardworking, you're wonderful. You don't tell that child, hey, you're dumb, you're stupid.
Exactly.
You may not think that has an effect on them. And yes, people, oh man, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words never hurt me. No, that's not true. A lot of people ain't built tough that they can overcome those negative words, but we don't even think twice about it, and we spew that garbage, and we think it ain't got nothing to do. It's like, hey man, you can listen to bad rap music is talking about murder and killing. It's not gonna have an effect. But that kid went out there and killed 20, 30 people. And you ain't think that had no effect? And what God say? Power is in what?
The tongue. Yep.
That's right. So we have to reverse that trend, and we have to be purposeful about working together in spite of ourselves. And at the same time, make sure that our standards of excellence doesn't go down. This is what Dr. George Fraser taught me. He said, hey, when everything's equal, bet on black, baby. But if it's not equal, then I got to go find that next exceptional person, no matter what their race, creed, or color is, and their character is sharp. And so we miss that.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what we are changing the paradigm in 2022, because we purposely do business with our people, and we don't exclude anybody. And see, that's what a lot of times people get mixed up, because again, man, 90% of my business used to be with the PWI, but I came in being me all the time. And I knew, sometime I ain't gonna get the contract, because when they say something stupid and they think I'm just supposed to look past it, I'll be like, oh no, bro, you don't get no pass here.
Right.
And then I know the contract is not gonna be continued, but still, hey, if I said what they said something stupid, they're not gonna, endorse it either. So that's what you're looking at right now. So if you can get that intellectual person who's got all these degrees, and they come to the table, and this is one thing I liked about this is what I like about my man Marcus. And I was talking to his dad. He said, "Hey man, Marcus is the most humble kid you will ever meet, and he's so well accomplished that you would think he would just be, saying all the great things about himself, but he don't. And then he just sneaks up on people and blow right by him because his resume speaks so loud, he don't even have to open his mouth. But that same person, if they had the same, accomplishments, they'd be telling you all the time, and you would probably be intimidated. Because, I mean, this guy, his background is mad, crazy mad. And we wouldn't be out here, trying to kumbaya, having, special meetings with these people begging for business from them. I think it might have been Jim Brown said, he said, you know what? We always spend money on stuff we want, and then we beg for what we need. We always spend money on what we want, but we beg for what we need.
That's deep.
Yeah, y'all can take that one home with you. And that's probably, again, man, do we worry about, we want to, we want to get to 1,000 followers? Not really, to be honest with you. It's just because the algorithm will allow us to open up some other keys, but we still making money over here, baby.
Yep.
We making money over here because we doing real business. That's a fact. And if those come and hey, y'all are excited about referring people to us, and y'all excited about sharing, man, hey, that's awesome. But at the end of the day, I challenge you to look up, see how many people you doing business with that look like you. I challenge you, look up, see how many people you referring businesses run by people that look like you to automatically all the time. How purposeful are you in doing business with people that look like you and unapologetic about it, because they're unapologetic about it and they should be. I mean, is there a black town in every city we go to? There's a Chinatown.
Yep.
There's a Korean town. There's an Asian Indian town. There's a Mexican town. But I've been to majority all the top 10 major cities in the United States. And Nick, I have never seen a black town. Hey man, let's go over to Black Town and get some ribs and some fries. But you know what? Every time you drop into a major city, hey man, where Chinatown at? Real talk.
Yeah.
Because they have not been miseducated by their people. They do cooperative economics. They put consortiums together and they raise up everybody, and that's natural. That is the survival of the jungle, baby. Law of preservation. Self-preservation is the lowest element of life.
Yep.
I mean, just, man, dude, think about it. Think about it. Everything we got on right now. I'm proud to say what I got on from head to half toe is all produced by people that look like us. Man, I purposely, just like Astoria, she does a great job with that as well. We purposely try to be about our business. Am I my brother's keeper? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to support black colleges, that brand. They making money, man. What do you think what's happening right now? Right now, Carter G. Woodson is rolling over in his grave because Black History Month is appropriated by the PWI.
Yeah, it's the same people that miseducated you in the first place.
Right.
The same group. Yeah.
The kente cloth and all that stuff, and just like with what is it? What is it called? What is the season that we have? And man, God shoot me, I'm just having a senior moment right now. What is our equivalent to Christmas?
Oh, Kwanzaa.
Yeah. So, Kwanzaa has been appropriated by PWI because you can go into Walmart and get Kwanzaa stuff. You go into Target and get Kwanzaa stuff.
Yep.
I don't see no Chinese anniversary stuff in Walmart. I might have missed it.
Yeah.
Chinese New Year, I'm talking about.
Chinese New Year, yeah.
I might have missed it. I might maybe they have some Hanukkahs, you know, in Walmart, but I might have missed them, bro.
I think I might have missed it too. And I'm up, you know, and I'm up north, so I would expect to see more of that up here, but I missed it too.
Right. So this realness makes it hard when, guess what? When you don't own the whole picture frame. You got to own the frame, the picture, the back, all that. And you know what that requires? That requires work.
Yep.
And that requires the ability to not be looking for security, because it takes time to build a solid, successful Black business that happen to be run by Black people. But we're not purposely trying to make it Black business, but we're Black business owners. And we do business with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And see, at the end of the day, you know, competition raises everybody gain. And when we get a contract, it is because we are clearly the best. Because we don't have any certified Black destinations. Not that I'm opposed to them. I just want to get an equal playing field with everybody else. And guess what? We have people in our programs that have them, and we use those opportunities. Because when I understand that, you know what, that certification has been diluted as well, because guess what, the white woman is considered a minority in classification, and she can get the same thing to take to the white man, the contracts that you and I can get certified minority. And I don't, number one, let me just say that I don't consider myself to be a minority. I don't even use that word. But that's what it is. It's designated. So just think about the mental concept of that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Think about that. That's trickeration right there. You see what I'm saying? And people don't catch that. Because wait a minute. If I look across the globe and we collectively are the majority, why would I ever call myself a minority? Unless I'm trying to get that certified diversity guaranteed money. And again, I ain't knocking you. If you ain't got no other way to make money, man, get that deal. But if you can go out there and make it on your own and work with people that look like you and serve everybody on the planet, go that route, because that's what the Fortune 100 companies do. The Fortune 1000, the Fortune 500 companies. So why can't you participate? And then that's when you start saying, oh man, they got a competitive and we had a disadvantage. You automatically lost when you think you had a disadvantage, that just because of some setbacks, you can't excel as well as they do. You can't get them. Dude, do you think I would have been able to go up there to Love's Trucking and knock down that contract if I had that mindset? If they said, hey, you know what, DJ, where's your minority certification at before we give you this contract? Because we got to show that we're doing a certain percentage of business with people in this industry that nobody's in, that's cutting edge. But before we do that, we got to make sure that you're certified as a minority. Then I wouldn't have got that contract. And here's the thing. Nobody ever approached them, Nick, at the time about bill pay. So I was the first on the planet to talk to them about bill pay. So now I got to give up my secret sauce and I got to go stand in the line, get certified. And now you know what they're going to do, because they're competitive. They hot about that product. Hey, let's reach out here and market, see who else can produce this.
Mm-hmm.
And now I come back 3-4 months later. Man, we love what you got, but we already got a replacement. We already knocked off your machine with somebody look like us. Nothing personal.
Right.
But you know what I did? I said, nope, I don't need that certification. Let's do business like we do business.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing with HEB. I could have waited. And here's what a lot of times happen too. And even in the PWI, they'll be like, well, hey, you know, if you can go this route here, we can get you this, this, and other. You know what? I don't have time to wait for that route. I don't have time to play politics to get you to certify me. Is my deal a good business deal when it comes to capitalism? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's it. That's all we need to know.
And then they want to find out, can you have surety and assurances, bond insurance, general liability? If I can produce that stuff, then why are you treating me any different than any other business deal? And that's when I come and take them to task, Nick. I say, so I got my bond insurance. I got my general liability insurance. I got this insurance. I got this amount of money in the bank. So what's stopping you from giving me the contract? Then I put them, reverse the pivot on them and be like, oh, so now you don't think I can do business like anybody else. So now I don't even have to say anything. Now it's, oh man, yeah, we better go ahead and give him a shot. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to be like, oh man, I've been treated racist. They look at me, because I done stacked the deck with the best of the best, and I proved that I can get across the finish line, so we do business. And then I challenge them from confidence, natural confidence, not arrogance. I challenge them and say, tell you what, Nick, I can't get this done in 90 days. I give you an out. But if I can get this done in 90 days under this pilot program, then you got to give me a 3-year deal. And you know what we do? We work 24/7, 365 to make that 90 days the best they ever seen. Because once we get to day 91 and we met all the criteria and the metrics of that pilot agreement, it automatically becomes a 3-year, a 2-year, a 1-year contract. And now, because we are not perfect, we can afford to make some mistakes like the regular Joe. Because they're going to give the other person a break. Let's be real. But hey, that's just nature. That's just natural. If I'm comfortable growing up around you and I've never been around the other person, I'm just going to naturally, by default, trust you a little more than I trust the person that I just don't know. What's that saying? Hey, it's better to do business with the devil you know than the devil you don't know.
Yep.
So back to our man Carter G. Wilson, just think about it. He said, because you were taught, yes, look at entrepreneurship, but never look at it from investing in a black business. Go work for a white business. And if you invest in any business, invest in the white business. So you are already brained, to think that it's inferior, anything that looks like us. And then you're taught that if they did succeed, they had to get lucky. Somebody gave them favoritism, like, affirmative action or something, but you don't even look at their qualifications, their experience, bringing it over the top. So that's what I do, Nick. And, we bring up the people, and this is what they say in the VC world. Guess what? Money follows management. It don't necessarily all the time follow the concept or the genius that's bringing it to them. They look it back and say, who on your team has done this before? I feel comfortable knowing that, hey, Nick has done this for 10 years and knocked it out the park. He joined DJ Money Coach team. I feel comfortable James Lane been doing, taxes for billion-dollar companies for 10 years. I trust his resume more than I trust DJ's resume. But obviously, DJ must got something going on that he brought these cats together. So now let me give him some money because I'm putting the money on their experience and expertise, but I love his concept. What is that right now? That's cryptocurrency. Think about it. You got all these people invested in crypto and don't know nothing about crypto, but somebody has some success over here, so they're riding that wave. Real talk. Real talk. So I think, man, I've got off on a tangent. Maybe we should take a little break.
Yeah, let's take a break. It's all related though, man. It's all connected. It all goes back to the miseducation in 1933 to the miseducation in 2022. So it's all connected. But yeah, we'll go and take that break. And when we come back, there's a couple of things that stood out to me, and I'm reminded of some other ideas that relate to sabotaging our business dealings, amongst each other when it comes to the division, not only between the classes, between the educated class and the less educated class, but there's still division within the educated class too. So I'm going to touch on that when we come back from the break. So you are watching Nick's Knowledge and Notions. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, everybody. My name is Altavis F. Fleary. I am a notary and loan signing agent. I'm currently working with DJ the Money Coach on setting up my financial business strategies for my business operations. So far, DJ's been great. He gives great advice, and I'm looking forward to continue to work with his team and making sure that we set me up for the near future. Thanks again, DJ.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth. It's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. All right, and welcome back to Nick's Knowledge and Notions NQ Science Series. And tonight we're continuing with our Black History Month special, dealing with the father of Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson, in his most famous book, The Miseducation of the Negro. And we're discussing whether Black people are still miseducated in 2022. And we were discussing how we need to work with each other in order to arise collectively, and how Carter G. Woodson was writing back in 1933 about how we sabotage ourselves in business. Now, continuing on with that conversation, another thing that I want to point out about the education piece, because all of this starts with the mental and how we're miseducated about not going into business, about not being capable of running successful businesses, and how we're taught not to support each other. I wanted to emphasize that yes, we pass on these ideas to each other, but it all originates with the PWI. So if we go back to the text, to what Carter G. Woodson wrote, he's detailing in here that these ideas that Black people shouldn't run business, that Black businesses are going to fail, these are coming from these professors at Harvard, Yale, Columbia, University of Chicago. When Carter G. Woodson is talking to these highly educated Negroes or Black people, they're telling him that my economics professor told me that Black people can't run business, or shouldn't run business. So these are coming from the institutions, and then we pass it along to each other. Now, so that was the first thing that I wanted to touch on or emphasize from what Carter G. Woodson wrote. So we end up protecting their institutions, but we're also allowing their institutions to educate us too. While, like as DJ mentioned, with the foreigners and the other ethnicities and races, they educate their own for the most part. they're not going to anyone else to educate them. And I think it was Malcolm X that said, we're only people that send our children to the oppressor to get educated. Yes. So,
I mean, think about it. They go to temple. They go to the mosque.
Yep.
We're talking about schools. I'm not talking about churches, religious. These are actually institutions that they train their children in.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is they actually speak their native tongue at home and in the schools. You know how I know? Because I have good friends that are, from Pakistan, from India. I have Jewish friends as well. And I've been knowing these people for 10, 15, 20 years. And these are the institutions that they send their kids to. So it's ingrained in them. But like you said, we send our children to their institutions. So that right there is a natural conflict right there. What do you expect them to be taught? I mean, I went to a Catholic school. What do you thought they were going to teach me? Black history? No, they taught me about Mary, Joseph, and Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed me images that looked like them, even though they weren't true.
Right.
I was an altar boy. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
They taught me about Roman Catholicism and catechism. So I was indoctrinated with that, Nick, for 9, 10 years of my life. What you think I'm going to know?
Right.
And just a little sprinkle of the stuff they wanted you to know about, which again was the bad and here's the slave narrative. Here's Harriet Tubman. Yeah. Here's Sojourner Truth. Mm-hmm. They never told me about Reginald F. Lewis. They never told me about, what's the guy who created the traffic light, Garrett. They never told me about those people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They never told me about George Washington Carver. But there was a public high school in my community called Carver, and for the longest, stupid in me didn't even know that was George Washington Carver. They didn't tell me about Benjamin Banneker, who created the whole city of D.C.
Yep.
The whole architectural design. Because guess what? If you told me about that, I'm going to do what? I'm going to aspire to it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's like right now, in all this, sexiness and being an entrepreneur, why aren't they talking about Reginald F. Lewis? Why is it taking so long for them to come out with a movie about Reginald F. Lewis? Now, they put a movie out about, Richard Williams, and a powerful movie about how he raised Serena and her sister.
Mm-hmm.
But what Reginald F. Lewis accomplished, dude, was 30 years ago.
Right.
Actually, longer than that.
Yep.
But why would you want to tell your kid in the whole world this black man did the first leverage buyout? The first, not the first black person to do one. He did the first leverage buyout international for $1 billion in the history of America. Now, if they did that, dude, they'd be shouting from the mountaintops.
Right.
Because we don't stop hearing about, what's his name? Benjamin Franklin. Oh, Benjamin Franklin, he done everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You wouldn't even notice that Reginald F. Lewis was more powerful than Bill Gates in his prime. Real talk. And unfortunately, he died of a brain aneurysm. Dude, Reginald F. Lewis be worth probably easy $100 billion. Easy, bro.
Right.
Because you think he was going to stop there? He pulled off the first successful leverage buyout, which inspired a lot of young black professionals. And you would think just from that point, we would have jumped up on it and be talking about him 24/7, 360. But you know what we talk about? Hey, man, let's talk about Jay-Z. Man, let's talk about Yeezy. Man, come on, man. They billionaires? No, they not. They not billionaires. Stop it. You go in their schools and they're telling you about the heroes that they want you to, emulate and become based on those principles of success. But like you said, because we are taught, you're going to their institution. And I'm going to be the first one to say, man, when I came out of high school, And people were like, man, you should go to HBC. I was like, man, dude, I already got a black experience. I don't need more black experience, but that was stupidity. At 17 years of age, I should have been like, you know what? Man, let me go over here to Xavier. Let me go over here to Howard. Whichever one that got the best baseball and accounting program, I should have been going there. But I was like, no, man, I need to go to a PWI so I can get my CPA and get my $1 million.
Man, well, I mean, before you go any further, you know that's where we're gonna go next, because even at the HBCUs, there's still some miseducation going on over there too, and some division,
big time,
and some division there, because I went to one, so I know I know that I wasn't in the business school, but I know from speaking to students in the business school and seeing what companies were coming on campus, I see that they were training black students to work and get these positions at these PWIs. They weren't saying that now they weren't presenting the narrative that you should not go into business for yourself and support each other, but they were definitely putting to the forefront that you need to go, intern and work at these corporations, and this is how you dress, this is how you code switch in order to do that. Now, yep. Now what I want to say about the division, even in higher education, is that especially at the HBCU, me having been to one, we're on the same level degree-wise. We both have bachelor's degrees, or we're both pursuing our bachelor's degrees. But because of the family that you come from, or because of that Greek letter organization that you joined, you're better than the rest of us now. Now we're at the same institution, but since you're a part of a social club, there goes the division, even amongst the highly educated.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a sad commentary, and the reality is, Nick, it's never going to change, bro. I mean, because it's just like immutable laws of success, which God ordained. Those things are timeless. And once you've gotten into this track of a classism, and then you put the blackism on it, it's a protectionism system in and of itself. That's just like the word conservative means what? To conserve, which in essence means protect what I built.
Right.
So you now will have us in a continuum perpetually fighting amongst ourselves. And again, I ain't got to worry about you because you're over there fighting for them scraps. You ain't out here trying to bow up and go after the whole pie. And then when you do, you immediately have somebody look like you. Oh man, you too arrogant. You too aggressive. Wow, that's funny. You don't say that to them cats over in Silicon Valley.
Right.
You right there trying to in awe. Man, how'd they get so smart? How did they get, man, one, they had access to the resources. You didn't. Instead of just staying together and building collectively. But at the end of the day, man, we can only make change in our own house.
Yeah, that's where it starts.
You got to start with making change in your own house. You know what I'm saying? You got to, again, your children and your children's children, they're going to watch by your example. And then whatever the bar is, and I always tell people, and I kind of figured this out maybe about 10, 12 years. It just dawned on me. I said, you know what? Average ain't the same in everybody's house. Right. Over here, if Nick Westbrook's got an MBA and a master's degree from Harvard University, that's going to be average in his house. And you ain't even got to tell your children. They know that that's already a foregone conclusion that I'm going to get a master's degree because that's the minimum at the crib. Now, if I go over here and I'm cleaning floors and that's the best I ever done, that may be average in that house. And then you may have that outlier who breaks out of that and start doing something. Then they be like, well, man, that ain't the norm in my house, so I'm different. And then they just start going off into another direction and accomplishment, but they still look at it as, man, we only come from janitors and housekeepers. But guess what? You looking at a personal example. Again, man, I take pride in the fact my grandfather was a porter. But you know what? All his children got college degrees, brother.
Mm-hmm.
He got doctors and lawyers and businessmen came out of his legacy.
Right. Right.
And we looked at it at the times. He did the best he could with the best opportunities that he had presented in front of him, and he made the best of it. But he's laid down a work ethic, a high level of self-esteem, that this is how we roll here, baby. We're winners, leaders, and shepherds. And we compete, we come to be first, not second, not third, first. And that quiet message just permeated throughout our family. Mm-hmm. So now over here, you got these doctors, lawyers, and successful business people. So guess what? The average in our house, that's average. Now then exception will be like, okay, now you're going to be a billionaire. And then billionaire is going to be the average in your crib.
Mm-hmm.
And how we going to keep that going? Because we're going to use that beautiful word, what we call it, STEAM.
Yeah.
Science,
STEAM.
Technology, entrepreneurship, but most importantly, access, baby, to mentorship. Yep. So those kids in our house going to already be hooking up with the dudes we do business with and be like, hey, man, just like them other cats, school my son. Yep, he don't know nothing, but guess what? You and I have been doing business together, and if your son needs some help, I'm going to help your son out. And he can earn and learn just like everybody else in the other competitive household, because that's where the race is. It ain't about the color of our skin. It's actually about racing to win the finish line. Who's going to be first? So guess what? On Sunday, when the Rams and the Bengals line up, whoever loses, nobody going to remember them, bro. Real talk. Because second place is last place. Mm-hmm. Now, they're going to be excited about themselves, but 10 years from now, nobody going to know who lost Super Bowl 56 except the ones who lost it. They're going to be talking about that winner.
Right.
And they're going to be doing everything they can to put players on the team to win. And that's what the Rams did. They went out and hired and traded to get their team to the Super Bowl again. And so that's what we should be doing in our households.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And the first thought should be, no, man, I ain't worried about excluding anybody. Oh my goodness. Talk about that, the experience we had. Oh, well, we want to be inclusive of everybody. Guess what? What I'm going to be inclusive of somebody? Are they named Duransburg? They named Duransburg. What am I be concerned about being inclusive with them? Real talk. Hey, if Westbrooks wasn't on our team and we were both competing for the same, trophy, hey, I ain't trying to give you no advantage, bro.
Right. Right.
But again, you've been conditioned. Be inclusive. Don't. They ain't being inclusive with you, so why are you worrying about that? I'm looking across the landscape, bro, and I'm saying, where are them sharp brothers and sisters at? Stand up. Let's be accounted for, and let's go to war together.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's what it's about.
You know what I'm saying? And guess what? I don't have to speak the King's English all the time. If you understand my communication and the words coming out of my mouth, you know what I'm talking about. Because when I'm on that yard at the school and I do that head up, like, you know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we might not have a verbal language like everybody, but we got all kind of signs that to go back a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But, we got to be inclusive. No, we don't. No, we don't. And then another thing is more like they're worried about their image. Man, did you represent? Hey, man, if I'm a professional, then you should know it. If I'm not, then, hey, don't give me a break. But if I am professional and you had a break by somebody, hey, man, cut me some slack. But don't lower your standards. You know what I'm saying? Because that's again what happens. That internal false indoctrination they got. Oh man, if you don't get it across the finish line, I look bad. But all right, let's take it right back to the NFL. The white coach fails and he keep getting jobs. His buddy ain't worried about him looking bad, but you give a referral for your guy and he been your guy or your girl, and then all of a sudden they just didn't make it, but they bust their butt and work hard. Oh man, nah, we just set everybody back. How did we set everybody back? You lost me, bro. How do we set everybody back? So one person can set the whole tribe back, but they one person fails miserably, and they got another job. Again, maybe I should look at they searching for a job versus building a business, versus getting that equity and that ownership, because that would put it all to the wayside. If you saw, and here's another problem. So even with the black businesses that are doing, $100 million, $200 million, when you look at their whole organization, unfortunately, a lot of times they don't have a lot of us in their businesses. That's a sad thing. So you're telling me that across the whole globe, you're running a business that's owned by a black man or a black woman, that all your most important people don't look like us? But we're good enough to go to war for you. We're good enough to entertain you. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So again, you bought into a false narrative.
Yep.
Because you can't tell me I can't roll up to the top schools with top programs that are built for us, with us, that we can't find somebody sharp in there to step into this position and learn how to help us grow. You can't be purposeful in doing that. Because they do it all the time, man.
Yeah.
They do it all the time. I mean, man, I can't tell. If I had $100 for every Asian Indian friend that I've known and looked at their internal businesses that were successful, that everyone in their deal, 90% of them, Asian Indian.
Mm.
Nigerian people I know, dude, 90% of them, Nigerian. I mean, you could just look at Nollywood.
Yep.
Look at Bollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Blackwood at? Think about that.
Exists, yeah.
They created Bollywood, killing it with Asian Indians. They created Nollywood, fastest growing entertainment sector in the entertainment business, Nollywood. And guess what? Nigerians are projected in, I think they said like 15 years, gonna be the number one population on the planet, dude. And they be making high quality stuff.
Right.
They figured out how to run a business. They figured out how to put people that look like them in business together, and they don't apologize to anybody. Nobody be saying, "Oh man, you excluded us." They actually are intimidated. They be like, "Man, these Nigerians kicking our ass."
Mm.
So we got to get over that hurdle in and of itself. And so when somebody like you and me roll up, be like, "Hey man, we're gonna do business with us," it's like a foreign concept. We're gonna have a couple of challenges, but do we share the same principles, the same ethics? Do you have a strong background of success? I don't care if you did it in the PWI, but if you do, hey, let's do some business together. And let's come to the table without any, animosity, any animus, or any doubt that you can't cover the ball over the finish line. And how do we know we're doing successfully? Because look at all the testimonials we have. Mm-hmm. Our people get excited when they talk to Melvin. They get excited when they talk to James.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They get, oh my goodness. And it don't even get to a point where we be like, oh man, they're black. We don't even think about it like that. We think about they're the best CPA on the planet.
Right.
They're the best registered investment advisor on the planet. And here's another funny thing. Check it out. So when we did business with the YMCA, we did business with Lightning Logistics. We did business with Montgomery Regional Airport in Alabama. You know what those people all had in common? They were PWIs. But you know what they also had in common? They were looking for the best financial education system. And guess what? It just happened to be us.
See?
And out of pure greed, they did a business deal with us. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it was no. Oh man, is this a diversity situation? They just got a 2-for-1. They didn't do business with us because we were black. They did business with us because we were best in class. And oh, by the way, if somebody said, "Oh man, do y'all do business?" Yeah, we do business with Duransburg International. And you know what? Damn, they are black. We didn't realize it. But we know they knocking it out the park for our employees and our small business owners. We did not come through the side door, Nick. You know me. I'm coming through the front door, baby.
Yep. There you go. Yeah.
And here's the funny part. We're not giving discounts either, bro.
Right. Exactly.
We getting full rip, full profit. Unapologetically.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because I took what I learned from Reginald F. Lewis. Hey, if you the best, get paid best in class. And my grandmother, that's out to my grandmother, Mildred Bradford. She told me, man, this is the best thing she told me. She said, hey, if you finish number 1 in your class, number 1 in your studies, number 1 in your sports, you should get whatever you want, the best of the best. And don't you ever settle for anything less than the best. And here's where you put a ribbon on the bow, a bow on the ribbon, or whatever they call it. So since my birthday and your birthday is in December, right?
Right.
And my birthday is one day before Christmas. It's customary in everybody's house who have a similar birthday to not even celebrate their birthday big time. You know what my grandmother used to do, dude? Beginning of the year, hey, what do you want when your birthday comes up? Pick one expensive gift. Boom. I picked that. Now, here's what you got to do to earn it. Straight A's, don't get no trouble, knock it out of the park in the sports that you participate in. Boom. My birthday come every year. Dude, we celebrate on my birthday. I get this super expensive gift. And I still get a super expensive Christmas gift. So that precedent that my grandmother indoctrinated in me, I can remember back when I was 5 years of age. And she also used to take these savings pass booklets and put money in the bank for me and gave me this little piggy bank. So she taught me. And so people in my family, dude, would get upset with my grandmother. Oh, you're treating them special. But then they didn't look. Wow, he was a straight A student. He wasn't getting in no trouble. Yeah, he do some silly stuff, but he wasn't doing nothing to shame us. But he's a straight A student. Oh, he's playing 3 sports at the top of the level. Got all these freaking trophies. And yeah, you gave him a special gift that made him feel special. And now she also told us, as well as my mom, you got to work twice as hard as them, which I never understood that concept. But since they taught me that, guess what? I worked twice as hard. But then when I got among more of them and found out that I was just better than them, I was like, why should I be working twice as hard? And if I'm working twice as hard, I need to get paid 4 times better. So I would go into the PWI institutions that I work for, and in the sales capacity, Nick, I would talk in an interview. I would say, because I knew if they were hiring me, they didn't already looked at a bunch of them that looked like me.
Right.
That was a given. So the first thing when I thought that they were ready to hire me, I said, hey, I need to see the top salaries of the person in my position at your company right now. That was bold, dude. And the first few times I did it, I was scared as hell. But I learned from one time when I found out I was more qualified than this other white girl and she was getting paid more than me. I was like, oh, no, that's never going to happen again. So anytime I got right to that second or third interview when I know they were bought into me, I was like, okay, we about to negotiate on this money. Reginald F. Lewis' mother taught him, ask for everything you want up front.
Right. Yep.
Show me, since you want me to come in and clean up this mess, show me the top person paid in this department that I'm going to be working side by side with. And they, oh, we can't. Well, you know, I'll tell you what. I would tell them, Nick, I say, hey, if I can't produce what I say I can produce, I'm going to walk away in 90 days. At that point, dude, they were like, okay, this was the top paid ballpark. I'm like, okay, well, add 5 onto that. 5, add 10K onto that. And at that point, it's a negotiation.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
And throughout my whole career, dude, it was very rare that I wasn't the top paid person. And I was one, most of the time, of only us. And every now and then, it might be two or three of us.
Right.
But what does that mean? Because excellence was ingrained into me at an early age. I never thought when I looked across the landscape, nothing but excellence came from us.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought about we can't work together because, again, when you grew up in most of your neighborhood, 98% of it was black. I only saw black excellence. My dentist was black. My doctor was black. Our cleaners was black. Our bus drivers were black. Our school teachers were black. So excellence to me was black.
There you go. Yeah.
But if we started getting involved and people started going and getting a master's, like, oh man, we moving out to the suburbs. And then it's like, oh, wow, okay. What happened to all of us? But again, I think that's I digress.
Hey, man. Wow. I mean, I love it, man. How about let's go to another commercial. We'll come back and close this thing out. All right.
Sounds like a plan, baby. Hey,
Yeah.
like, share, subscribe, tell 5 people right now. Come on in, get this. As Nick say, this gospel, baby.
Yeah, it's gospel. It's good news. That's what it is. All right, we'll be right back.
Everybody, this is DJ the Money Coach. I want to invite you to our masterclass and teach you the Pom Pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind, so you can come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. What is that masterclass going to do for you? It's going to help you create your Black history success story. I'm going to teach you how to create consumer debt freedom, earn an 800 credit score. I'm going to teach you how to pay off your home in 5 to 7 years. I'm going to teach you how to create passive income of $8,333 a month by acquiring businesses, acquiring real estate, and leveraging the tax laws. I'm also going to throw in our family finance one-on-one course, 3 hours, 18 modules. I'm going to give you our best-selling book, ABCs of Wealth, the common sense strategy of achieving American dream. And as a special bonus, I'm going to give you 3 consultations live with DJ the Money Coach, Melvin Hobson, our registered investment advisor of 18 years, and James Lane Jr., our CPA over 7 years. And all you have to do is say, get me free to create Black history with DJ Money. That's right. Get me free, create Black history with DJ Money. Hit the link and you get over $3,000 worth of value for less than $200 to celebrate Black history, and come join me on the Beaches of the World Club with DJ Money in the master class.
All right, and welcome back to Nick's Knowledge and Notions. Tonight we were continuing our conversation from last week about the miseducation of the Negro and our Black people still miseducated in 2022. So to close this out, my final notions on this is that although some improvement has been made as in terms of us embracing entrepreneurship and going into business, there's still a lot of work to do in how we work with one another and how we run business. So for one, we still have to finish eradicating the last of that inferiority complex that our businesses are less than, and that we shouldn't support each other because we're expected to fail. So it's changing that mindset. And it's also not adhering or not confirming those negative stereotypes about Black business. So making sure that we're operating our businesses with integrity and professionally as well. And also making sure we have the proper systems in place so that our businesses can last for so our businesses can last beyond our existence. so our children can have these businesses. So those are my final thoughts on this topic. DJ, what's your final thoughts on Black business?
Yeah, well, I would say, man, first and foremost, being an entrepreneur is the toughest game in town, but it's the most rewarding game in town. Okay. The second thing is, look for, people to work with that are integrity based, hardworking, highly skilled, and are transparent. And I think the third thing is, this one's kind of catch-22, Nick, because when you have children, you want your children to be in your business, but at the same time, you don't want to snuff out their individual dreams. But sometimes somebody's got to make a sacrifice in order for the legacy to continue. And that's a tough one, man, because with me having 4 children, it'd be nothing better to have my sons and my daughters working side by side with me. But if they not excited about crunching numbers and putting deals together, hey, man, what can I do? You know what I mean? So that one's a hard one. But learning over long term, if you do make that sacrifice, that legacy will continue itself. I mean, if you look at Black Enterprise, you look at, Ebony and Jet and how they went a couple of generations, and then they just fell off because they couldn't continue to make their kids want to live that dream. But actually, that is the dream. And sometimes we got to buy into that. So that's that catch-22. So I would equate it to in a sports analogy. So if you, like yourself, you ran track, you played little baseball, and, I'm a baseball player, and, my sons, I was telling Marcus's dad, they twice as talented as I am, which they should be, because I set it up that way. But the reality is they had other options and they wanted to pursue those. But I'm like, wow, no question about it. And not being biased, they could be professional athletes. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But if that's what was in their dream, now I got to let them go. I got to set them free so they can come back and still, be loving and liking and not have resentment. So that's a conundrum in of itself. So what you got to try to be able to do is build a business that can actually embrace their gifts and their talents, and then they can still be under the same umbrella, and that way it could grow. I mean, so if you look at great examples, again, man, I go back to the Black Enterprise examples, in terms of multi-generational, businesses that are successful. You can strive to have that as a model, to emulate, and it's unfortunately that we don't have regular models that we can go to on it to drop a hat, say, oh, remember this, remember these companies, that companies. But it's very few that we can tell you've been around for 3, 4, 5 generations, and they also are still thriving. They might be around, but they're struggling because after the third, they say it takes one generation to create the wealth, second generation to spend it, and the third to lose it. And that's generally what happens, So what I would like to leave the people with is this. Number one, put a plan together, find out what your talents are, your strengths, and put your children in a conducive environment to be their own boss. And yes, I believe in education, but I'm going to be the first one to tell you, I don't believe in conventional education anymore because we live in a digital world. I believe in education of skills that are transferable. But if I had to do it all over again, Nick, I would have became an engineer, and then I would have went into business because you have a critical thinking mind and you can construct and build and architect things. And that would have been the only degree that I would have pursued. Other than that, now today, you can get digital skills and learn the formality of how to structure things through the internet with certification programs and get into entrepreneurship and apprenticeship programs. And you can learn on the job that this antiquated school system, this teaching, that's outdated. I mean, that's one of the best things you do. That's why I was so happy when my son got that internship over at Luke, because he was over there at a cutting edge company that the whole world is excited about. And if he can go over there and cut his teeth and learn about what they're doing, that's an education to give him skills, access, and network to do anything that he wants to do. So right now, what you're finding, a lot of people who understand where technology is going, artificial intelligence and electronic cars and autonomous vehicles and robotics, you should be planting your seed and your flag in that land and knowing that that's the future. And you should be pushing your children in that direction. And you should be encouraging them to build a business by teaching them the core principles of business systems so they can manifest those dreams into skills, into legacy of businesses that are sustainable. That's all you should be doing at the end of the day. And if that requires you to go to a regular institution that is proven that they're doing it live, here's the thing that I was excited about is that when I went back to college after I partied my way out of my first school, I went to a school that had professionals that actually were teaching in the classes as they were doing the job in real time. So when I went to Columbia and I went there to go for broadcast journalism and television production, my teachers were actually working at the radio stations. My teachers were working at the television stations. My teachers were working at the theater schools in real time. So what they were teaching us wasn't in the book. They were teaching us stuff that was going on the radio, the television, and on the big picture screen in real time. So I love that. And that changed the game for me. And that's what we need to do now is put children in those environments right now. As long as they have the basics of reading, writing, and arithmetic, the 3 R's, and have a foundation of STEM, they're going to be golden. And then wrap that in a bow with entrepreneur system and show them how a business system works, just like an E-Myth. And I think if you start putting your children in that environment, they will be able to compete against anybody on the planet. And at that point, now you got big business coming out of your family naturally. That's what I would encourage people to do. And if you don't, if you want to go the old route, hey, go right ahead. Because there's a saying, the C students hire the A students. And I would say, hey, make sure your kid is a C student at the best competitive, whatever school, HBCU or PWI, so they can hire that kid that's taught you should never get nothing wrong on any of your tests because they'll know how to figure everything out, but they won't know how to do entrepreneurism. And just like us, they will be indoctrinated to do what? Work for somebody the rest of their life. And they'll work at top tier jobs making a lot of money, but they'll never run a business. And very few of them do. So when you see these kids and these nerds in Silicon Valley and now in Austin, where the new, Southwest Silicon Valley, those kids are being taught a little bit differently than the other ones. They automatically know, I'm just going to school to network. I'm going to school to get around these other geniuses that are going to build businesses, and we're going to find a partner or two, and we're going to build the next, Snapchat. We're going to build the next Meta. And that's their mindset. And your child should have the same mindset. I'm going to build the next ABC that's going to be a multi-billion-dollar company. And you should have the mindset, I'm talking to you, mom and dad, that if your child comes up to you with a business idea, put some capital behind them. Here's what I told Rodney. I'll leave this with you. So Rodney told me about 3-4 weeks ago, he's like, Dad, there's no need for me to be in college anymore. I said, you know what? Tell you what, you can make $100,000. You make your $100,000, you can walk away from school. Because if you show me you can make $100,000 legally, ethically, and morally sound, you've obviously built something. But until then, you're going to finish that engineering degree. But if he makes $100,000 and it's in a business that he's developing, he's on to something. You see what I'm saying? And then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to pour my resources into him to encourage him to be successful, and then put a management team behind him and give him advice from a counseling standpoint and get out of his way. But until you show me you can make $100,000, you're going to keep hitting them books. So now he's got a natural challenge. Man, let me make that $100,000, because he knows most of the classes outside his engineering class, he's like, man, it's a waste of time, Dad. Waste of time and money. But he said, you know what's great? Being up here in Austin, man, I'm around these amazing geniuses that are building new technologies and starting businesses. And that's where you need to be, in a think tank.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? So we should be doing that for all our children. Challenge them to get technical skills, certifications, transformational skills that they can live off of immediately. Electrician, HVAC, all of that stuff. Get back to that stuff and create a business around it. I mean, you know how many people in the pandemic that are in that industry, HVAC, electrician, plumber, dude, they making hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, dude.
Yep.
And with pride. Killing it. Start yourself a nursing contractor business. Killing it, man. So it's exciting time. So that's what I want to leave them with. And then you can be your ancestor.
Mm-hmm.
Again, start from where we're finishing so we can have something that is transferable for generations to come. And that starts all with an idea, self-esteem, and telling your children all the time. Tell your children you're leaders, winners, and shepherds. What's a leader? A leader is somebody that makes the right decisions in tough times, and they can't be compromised, okay? A winner is somebody that does everything ethically, morally sound to get the W. They don't cheat, they don't lie, they don't steal. You feel me? And a shepherd is somebody who actually has the responsibility to go back and take care of those who can't take care of themselves. So if you teach your children that mindset, they're going to make the world a better place for everybody. And in none of that, I said anything about ethnicity. None of that said anything about color. But at the end of the day, survival of the fittest, I got to take care of my tribe before I take care of your tribe. So I don't need to be concerned about exclusivity or inclusivity. I need to be concerned about take care of the Duransburg tribe, the Westbrook tribe first. Make sure they're leaders, winners, and shepherds, you know, and then make sure they come to battle with one mindset. Veni Vidi Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. Because that's the reason why we play the game, to win. And do it morally, ethically, and principally sound. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal. That's real talk. And if we do all of those, Nick, everything else will take care of itself. And we'll have more prosperous businesses from a black perspective than we can shake a stick at. And we will laugh 20 years about even having these shows.
Right. Yeah. Yep. That is the objective. That is the objective. So we acknowledge that there's still some miseducation going on in 2022. But the good news is that DJ the Money Coach team is a part of the re-education process and the solution for this. And we actually just had an amazing educational experience this week with our first Black History Month masterclass, live masterclass, and we got one more for Black History Month coming before the month closes out, right?
Yep, we got another one coming up. And here's the great thing, man, we showcase 4 amazing Black businesses. We're talking about Black business in technology, Black business in professional services like barbershops, Black businesses in real estate at the highest level, commercial real estate, Black businesses in the mobile home industry, and Black businesses in the residential industry. We covering the basics, bro. The basics. And we're gonna have a master class on technology with Kadera, teaching systems and certifications. Man, dude, I'm so excited about the stuff we're doing, and it's so refreshing to look up on the horizon and see young Black women, young Black men, you know, millennial Black men, millennial Black women, you know, middle-aged Black women, middle-aged Black men, all working together. And that's another thing that we need to talk about, the intersectionality of generations of people working together. I mean, what show can you see outside of ours where you got somebody in your millennial group and somebody in my group working together side by side and having a great time? I challenge you. I'm going to start saying we're the #1 show where multi-generational professionals are working together with no bias towards anyone, but we just down there having a great time, bro. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So yeah, hey man, get into the master class. if you ain't, man, got into this master class, man, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you get 2 hours of iron core training. Again, we going back to the basics. That's what it's called. Consumer debt freedom. Increase your credit scores up to 800. We give you the foundation in 30 days to have an 800 credit score. I can't give you an 800 credit score from a 525 to 800 in 30 days. That ain't happening unless you cheating and stealing. You know, I'm just going to keep it real. But we can build the foundation to get you on the pathway to have an 800 credit score in 6 to 12 to 18 months. We can teach you how to pay off your home in 5 to 7 years. And then we can teach you how to build a real proper structured business and take that business and actually acquire real estate, derive passive income through it, because we can share it with you, our system of 7 spheres of money, and hook you up with CPAs, attorneys, financial planners, mortgage bankers, estate planners, and coaches. And then the best part, Nick, and you know, we can give you access to deals that you would never have exposure to, that you should know about, because we've taken you through the system, and now we opened up and pulled back the curtain of the Wizard of Oz and show you that the wizard was a little guy. And you can be a little guy and become a big guy or girl with access to that master class. And on top of that, we're going to give you our course, Family Finance 101, which will teach you 3 hours, 18 modules of A, B, C, and D, how to get yourself on the right track. Then we're going to teach you as well is the 3 Steps to Success program, how to actually build businesses, acquire real estate, leverage the tax laws through 8 different entity structures, and which one is the right one at the right time. And oh, by the way, we're going to throw in the ABCs of Wealth, the Common Sense Strategy, Achieving American Dream. This is a book that I wrote that basically tells you everything that we've done over the past 20 years in 26 strategies of success. And oh, by the way, Nick, we're going to put the cherry on the top and actually give you complimentary consultation.
That's the best part.
With me, with James, our CPA of 30 years plus, who's done billion-dollar tax returns for ExxonMobil, and Melvin Hobson, our registered investment advisor, who has every security license under the sun, manages millions of dollars, and been with us for 18 years. So if you were to want to take advantage and get access and level the playing field, you can do that for less than a couple of $100. And that's the same program, ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, that we get paid $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to do, or we get paid $1,500 to $500 a half an hour to an hour for our time. You get that all for less than $200. And you're right. I'm telling you to hit that link right now, because right now in Black history, you need to make your Black history. You need to set yourself free, and then you need to share the wealth with somebody else so you can create significance in our community. So I'm excited for you guys. And hey, make Black history 24/7, 365. And how we do that? We thrive today in getting that master class with us. So I'm out, baby. DJ the Money Coach, out.
Yep. That's what it is. So thank you everybody for tuning in again for another episode of Nick's Knowledge and Notions. As we said, like, share, and subscribe. And to get into the masterclass, the link is down there in the description. So go ahead and click on that and register. And we will see you. We'll actually be back this weekend. We got a new episode of Bet on Black, the Women, the Family, the Legacy dropping this weekend. So we'll see you this weekend for that new episode. And then, of course, we'll see you next week here on Nick's Knowledge and Notions. So,
hey, man, gotta end it the way we ended. How we ended, baby.
Oh yeah, of course. We wish you a pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money, peace of mind, and we want you to come join us on the beaches of the world. And your beach doesn't have to be next to sand or water, but your beach is where you find your personal freedom, your tranquility, and of course your proper and correct education.
That's right. And only here can you be a first-rate you and not a second-rate somebody else. And that's what you deserve. That's what God and the Most High meant for you and your family. So God bless. We see you next time. We appreciate you. Talk to you. Peace.
All right.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Tajir. I'm a young professional from New York. I just want to give a big shout out to DJ, the money coach. I had a consultation call with him, and it was amazing. I learned about so many things, from insurance to buying real estate and getting leverage on transactions to tax loopholes, tax pitfalls, 401ks, IRAs, much, much, much more. If you're on the verge, if you want to advance your financial future and you're not sure what to do or where to go, I definitely recommend seeing DJ, the money coach.
I want to invite you to our masterclass and teach you the pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind, so you can come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. What is that masterclass going to do for you? It's going to help you create your Black history success story. I'm going to teach you how to create consumer debt freedom, earn an 800 credit score. I'm going to teach you how to pay off your home in 5 to 7 years. I'm going to teach you how to create passive income of $8,333 a month by acquiring businesses, acquiring real estate, and leveraging the tax laws. I'm also going to throw in our family finance one-on-one course, 3 hours, 18 modules. I'm going to give you our best-selling book, ABCs of Wealth, the common sense strategy of achieving American dream. And as a special bonus, I'm going to give you 3 consultations live with DJ the Money Coach, Melvin Hobson, our registered investment advisor of 18 years, and James Lane Jr., our CPA over 7 years. And all you have to do is say, get me free to create Black history with DJ Money. That's right. Get me free to create Black history with DJ Money. Hit the link and you get over $3,000 worth of value for less than $200 to celebrate Black history. And come join me on the Beaches of the World Club with DJ Money and the Master Class.